Hello out there to all my nonprofit directors and nonprofit leaders. I hope that you are having a great day and making the best of the current environment. I'm getting a lot of feedback from staffs at various organizations, as well as from nonprofit directors, that things aren't necessarily really easy right now in the management world. So I thought that I could give you some feedback on things that you can do to help support your staff through this very difficult time. And I know you're thinking, no more, not one more thing on my plate. I have too much going on. But these are a few, just five simple, easy things that you can do to show your staff that you support them, that you're invested in them, and that you care, so that not only do they weather this storm, but they come out the other side even better than they went in, right? So the first tip that I have is to extend them grace, just as you have had to extend to your family and probably to yourself. And if you haven't, start doing it now. Extend them grace, because mistakes will be made, probably at a level much higher than they would during the non-pandemic time. Allow forgiveness and let them know that they have that grace and room to make mistakes, because it's just going to happen in a trauma situation like this. The second is to trust. Our tendency as nonprofit directors or as leaders is to micromanage. When things are out of our control, we want to reel them in and make sure that we are maintaining control, and our donors are going to get what we've promised them. Our clients are going to get exactly what they should, and always at that really high level that they've come to expect. And certainly we want to be always aiming for the very best value for our customers. With that said, your staff were doing the work before the pandemic. You trusted them then to get it done. You need to trust them now. And you need to allow them space to do it in the method that they see fit, the best method they see fit, which may not look like it did before. Self-care. So this is an opportunity for you to just reinforce how important self-care is, not just for yourself, but also for your staff. So an immediate thought I had was it would be really fun to offer your staff an opportunity to do some very, very visible self-care. One way you could do this is by saying, instead of checking in at 9 for work or starting your work day at 9 or 8:30, that instead you had 30 minutes of very purposeful self-care, whatever that means for your staff member. If that's reading a book, listening to music, meditation, doing a workout or yoga, spending some time really taking care of themselves and figuring out what that looks like for them. And that's part of your day. Think about this with the Army. The Army always includes their physical exercise as part of what they do, because it's how they can make sure they are the best they can be to go to their jobs. Isn't that what we want for our staff? So consider making that part of their obligations to you, to the organization, is that self-care, and that they take a purposeful time during the day to do that. This is a great time also to engage your EAP, your Employee Assistance Program, and highly encourage your staff to take advantage of the EAP, and as well as their staff or their family members who are also going through it. And the behavior of the family members, of course, affects them, because they are all trapped together. If you have young staff, they're by themselves. Really important that they are having really healthy conversations with someone, a trusted advisor of sorts. Schedule. So if you haven't already, consider a flex schedule. Allow your employees to work as they see fit. This may change things for the long term. You may see that certain employees really work better at an alternative schedule, and it didn't affect their work product or the value you're providing to the client. So maybe this is something for the long term, but give them that flexibility to alter their schedule as they need to, and cut out all of the meetings Zoom is so popular and it's great for what it's needed, but let's not overdo it just to have a meeting so that you can make sure your staff's doing what they're supposed to be doing. You trust them, right? Lastly, gifts. So I know when I was a director, I would usually incorporate activities throughout the year to make sure the staff knew that we cared. And it was part of our budget. So staff appreciation, whether it was bringing in lunch, the board would provide that, or it was having a staff team building one afternoon a month. Those activities should not end just because you're not in a traditional environment. You just need to think differently about them. So perhaps it's recruiting donations from your board to have lunch delivered from one of your local restaurants to all of your staff members. Maybe it's sending an e-card, and in that e-card telling that staff member what you specifically like about their work or them as an individual, and letting them know how much you care about them. Maybe that's too touchy-feely and you want to think of something else, and it's getting on Amazon and buying something material that you would like to give them. But thinking about gifts and what those need to look like for your different staff members. So the summary for this, so that we can weather the storm and come out the other side, and our staff members will be with us through this. Extend grace, trust that they're doing the work that they should be doing, offering and really pushing, incentivizing self-care. You can't make them do it, but you can certainly incentivize it. Schedule flexibility, allow them opportunity to work best the way they need to work at this time, and then meet them with their love language, whether that's gifts of a verbal nature or something physical. Thinking of ways that we can say thank you and you're appreciated, and we will get through this via a gift. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that this helps you weather the storm.